Start again. Hey, this is Mossy. Welcome back. This is Cinderella Phenomenon. And last time, Lucette and King Gennaro were traveling through the secret passageway to lead to the gardens that led outside or away from all the guards and stuff. And we came across the queen and the crystal, I think, or yeah, the crystal. Also, I realized that the when you scroll over to the portrait window or the load window, it has Cinderella's carriage, the pumpkin carriage. Didn't notice that before. That's really cool. Okay. I feel that I cannot trust my eyes because it is indeed Mother standing before us. She looks the same as when I last saw her. Like she has just been sleeping all this time. What is Hilda doing here? Is that the crystal TV? She looks like she's been trapped inside the crystal. What? How? No, she passed on 4 years ago. This is impossible. A lovely surprise, isn't it? Well, the king immediately moves to stand in front of me. Sir Mithras saunters towards us with a wide smile on his face, looking unperturbed. Isn't she exquisite? Even in slumber, she is still so beautiful. What is the meaning of this, Mithras? When Mithras does not answer, the king reaches for his knife and frowns. What exactly are you and Alcaster planning? I'm offended that you are associating the two of us. My goals are different from Alcaster's. My only wish is to see my queen again. Alcaster is the one who is after your throne. What are you going to do with Mother? I plan to revive her. What? What? I stare at Sir Mithras, shocked. Revive Mother? Is it even possible to bring back the dead? She's alive, dear princess. My queen is only sleeping. Her link to the TB has allowed her to survive all these years. She's infused the last of her power with the crystal and merged with it. She was wise. Yet even as its light grows dimmer, so too does the light of her life come closer to being extinguished. Once you have fully accepted your role as the new bearer of Crystallum Tenebrarum, her link with it will be severed and she will die. That's why I need you, princess. I need your powers to bring her back to life. What? On your 18th birthday, you will inherit the crystal's powers, and with the power, you will revive my queen. Isn't that what you've always wanted? To have your beloved mother back? Well, it is true that I've always wished for Mother to come back. But Delore and Parfait told me the truth, and now, that's the last thing I want. What if Mother rules the kingdom once again? I will not let that happen. I will not let my kingdom fall into darkness again. The king charges toward Sir Mithras with a knife in his hand. But Sir Mithras easily sends him flying backward with a flick of his wrist and a magic spell. The knife falls to the ground just a few feet from where I stand. Your Majesty! I'm about to run to him when Varg steps out of the darkness and into the room, pointing the sword at the king's throat. Don't move, princess, otherwise my hand might slip. I freeze in my spot. Has he been there this entire time? Now, princess, you have an important decision to make. Help me revive the king and save the king. Or help me revive the queen and save the king. Or run away. And he dies. My life is nothing compared to the lives that will be lost if Hilda is brought back. I would gladly trade my life for any of the lives she would steal. Foolish king, you cannot gamble with your life when it is no longer in your hands. Sir Mithras growls at the king before facing me once again. He flashes a crooked smile. How about it, princess? Oh shit! Oh man. Am I immediately gonna get the bad ending if I do this? Oh shit. I may not have a good relationship with the king, but I cannot forsake his life. Defeated, I nod at Sir Mithros. I will help you, Mithros. A wise decision, princess. Lucette, don't. The king suddenly cries out in pain as Lord Varg plunges his sword into his arm. The king's sleeve is slowly dyed maroon with his blood. I would stop thinking if I were you, your majesty. Stop! I cringe at the sight of the king's blood. You said you wouldn't hurt him. A small wound won't kill him, your highness. He is still alive, after all. Varg, kindly escort our lovely guest to a comfortable prison cell. I take a few steps back as Varg approaches us. All I manage to do is back myself into a wall. Varg looks at me amused, like a cat toying with a mouse. He takes another step, but I do not get to see the movements he makes afterward. A bright light engulfs the area, eliciting an agitated hiss from Mithros. Magic? But how? When the light clears, Varg is still standing, his eyes on my feet. I follow his gaze. Oh! My shoes have been replaced with 2 beautiful glass slippers. I broke my curse? What did I do? The king looks at me, his eyes hazy. He opens his mouth to speak, but then stops when Mithros comes to hover just above him, his expression fixed into a glare. Oh, how charming. But your broken curse will not help you now, princess. Now be a good girl and allow Varg to escort you to your cell. Varg takes us to one of the prison cells and locks us up. This time, be a good girl and don't try to escape. I scowl at him. He only smirks in response. Feisty as always. He flashes me a lopsided smile before taking his leave. Lucette. The king collapses to the ground with his back to one of the walls. I quickly run to his side so that I can inspect his wound. Does he have anything I can use to tend his wound? I notice something in one of his pockets and quickly lean forward to pull it out. A handkerchief. It's small, but it'll have to do. I take the king's handkerchief and wrap it around his wounded arm. I'm sorry. Your injury is my fault. The king cups my cheek and turns my head so that I'm facing him. The gesture is so gentle it moves me to tears. A father should be the one to protect his child. Always. His face is twisted in pain as he stares at me, eyes brimming with tears. I see the recognition in his eyes. Having reunited with my father like this makes me realize that I still cared for him. Please forgive me. I already have. The words take a great weight off my heart. It's as if the ice that has been shrouding it for so long is finally melting away. Without another word, my father throws his arms around me, trapping me in a warm embrace. This is the first time he has ever hugged me. I feel tears brimming in my eyes and soon I'm crying as I bury my face into my father's shoulder. I'm sorry. Please forgive me, my dear daughter. We stay like this for what seems a lifetime, leaning against each other and crying, silently asking for forgiveness. Once we are more relaxed, I sit down beside my father and tell him what has transpired since I was cursed. His expression becomes darker with every word I speak. You have suffered so much, and I have not been able to ease that suffering in any way. No, my life as a commoner showed me things I would never have appreciated before. It was more fulfilling than my life in the palace. The moment I became cursed might be the first moment I started truly living. I take a deep breath as I contemplate the question that has been in my heart all this time. Your Majesty, have you ever loved me? I am terrified. But still, I force myself to look right at the king. I've always loved you, Lucette. I value you more than my own life. You are my everything, my daughter. I blink at him, my eyes filled with tears. I've waited for so long to hear those words from you. If you loved me, why were you not there for me? Why did you let Mother do this to me? Was it because I was her daughter? It's true that you are her daughter, but you are also mine. I don't even remember how we... His voice trails off and he avoids my eyes. He sighs softly. I was put under a spell that night. Months later, you came along. I thought I could never bring myself to love you, not when you were the witch's daughter. But you were different. She was darkness, and you were light. And then she corrupted you. Hildur forbade me to get close to you. She was afraid that would influence you to betray her. She told me that she would steal you away completely if I ever approached you. I couldn't bear the thought of losing my own daughter, so I did as she demanded. I had to watch you grow up from afar. I had to push you away. The only thing I could do for you was to help you celebrate your birthday every year. What? The birthday surprises every year. The letters that led to the secret birthday rooms. Those surprises were always the highlight of my birthday. This whole time, it was you who planned those surprises. I could not let you know that it was I who planned those surprises. The beautiful smile that you had on your face when you saw all of your gifts was more than enough. I'm really sorry for everything, Lucette. For not being a good father, for not being there for you, for pushing you away. After your mother died, he pauses to shake his head. After I thought she had died, I thought I might make it up to you, but I failed miserably as your father. You were already so far away from me. I tried to get close to you, but I drove you away. I don't blame you. I think back to all those times when he tried to talk to me or approach me. I would always walk away or refuse to talk to him. Because I hated him. I was convinced he didn't love me. I tried, but I tried too late, and not hard enough. I should have tried to better understand you. I should have tried harder to see what your mother had done to you. I have never expected any sort of forgiveness, and yet you still gave it to me. But now I am at a loss to what I can do to make it up to you. But you're here now, right? I smile at him hesitantly and he smiles back. He leaned forward to place a kiss on my forehead even as he wipes a tear away. I love you, Lucette. I love you too, Father. He rests his hand on my cheek. Allow me to make it up to you. Allow me to protect you. You cannot bring her back, Lucette. There would be too many consequences. But if I refuse to help them, they will kill you. Father shakes his head and smiles. If I have to give up my life to give you and our kingdom a brighter future, then so be it. Princess, it's almost time to go. Father moves to stand in front of me. I won't let you take her. Varg doesn't answer. He suddenly taps his cane to the ground, creating a same energy force as before, sending Father back into the wall with an invisible force. Father! Father staggers back to his feet and gazes at me with a pained expression. Don't do this, Lucette. I ball my hands into tight fists. I have no other choice. I'm sorry, Father, but I cannot let them kill you. I try to smile at him reassuringly before walking away with Varg. The last thing I hear is calling my name before Varg closes the door, and there's silence in the hallway. I am once again standing in front of Mother's crystallized form. It is time, Princess. Now put your hands over the crystal. I stare at my mother's crystallized form in silence, but fear takes a hold of my body. Time is of the essence, Princess. I do as commanded and set my hands on the surface of the crystal. What? It's noon. Oh no! Moments later, the clock strikes 12 and my body suddenly grows heavy. A strange power begins to flow through me. What What's happening? I attempt to pull my hands back, but to no avail. Not only are they heavy, but they feel as if they are glued to the crystal. Even as I struggle to move, I feel my energy dimming as the crystal grows brighter and brighter. Yes. Yes! I blink a few times as tears begin to sting my eyes. I bite my lip in an attempt to keep myself from falling unconscious, and the effort only makes me taste blood. Well, Lucette! Well, oh! Yes! Our prince! Out of the corner of my eyes, I catch a glimpse of Waltz by the door, his hand glowing as he prepares to cast a spell. Waltz! Waltz's eyes meet mine, his expression contorting into anger as he turns to glare at Mithros. This is madness, Myth! You're too late, Waltz. Just a little bit more and the energy transfer will be complete. And my queen will be free from her prison. I won't let you do this! Delora? Waltz releases his spell at Mithros, who quickly conjures a shield to protect himself. I feel so weak. I feel my knees giving out. The next thing I know, Waltz stands beside me with a dagger. He drives the edge of the dagger into the TB surface, cracking it slightly, and then I am free. Waltz catches me in his arms just before my body hits the floor. Stay with me, Lucette. I was about to say Waltz. My body relaxes when I feel his arms around me. I squint up at his face, but his features are blurry. I have to blink a few times to clear my vision. What took you so long? Breaking in here wasn't exactly an easy task, little star. I managed a weak smile. What matters now is that you are here. How did you get in here? What? It looks like we made it just in time. Parfait steps through a hole in the wall that her outburst of magic created. She looks solemn. You. How dare you show your face here? You, who tried to kill my beloved queen. Kill? Mithros raises his hand to cast the spell, but Parfait quickly freezes him in place with a flick of her wrist. I'm surprised, but then realize that Parfait is the loosest bearer. Even in her weakened state, it seems she is a force to be reckoned with. She turns to face me with a weak smile on her face. As the bearer of the Crystallum Lucis, it is my duty to stop Hildur. Such was my goal even back then. Even when the two of us were dear friends. While Parfait is speaking, Varg slowly moves forward with his cane. He seems just about ready to bring it down to the ground when Parfait turns in place and casts a spell. The magic hits the cane head-on, shattering it on impact. Varg, however, seems surprisingly calm. It's a good thing that wasn't the only weapon I had, huh? What? Suddenly Varg charges toward Parfait. Something silver and sharp glints in his hand. Parfait doesn't even move as she casts another spell, knocking Varg back against the wall. The knife in his hand clatters to the ground. Varg staggers back to his feet. The mask covering his eyes falls from his face where he stands. When he looks up, I feel my blood turn cold. Fritz? Varg wags his finger at me, his smile crooked. Maybe I look a little like him. But you can't seriously think we're the same person, can you? I clutch Waltz's shirt between my fingers as I stare. Everything begins to feel hazy once again. What is going on? Lucette. Lucette! I hear my father before I see him. When I turn, he is limping toward us with a pained expression on his face. I can only assume that he somehow made it out of his cell or that someone helped him out. Waltz's arm is still there to support me as I walk toward my father. Father reaches out to touch both my cheeks. His warmth makes me flinch. You are cold. I'll be fine. Father clenches his fist and turns to Mithros. It is over now, Mithros. Not quite. A bright light suddenly surrounds the tenebrum, and the whole room is engulfed in white. Oh, this is not good. I should have killed you a long time ago, Dia Gennaro. Oh no. What? Oh! Ugh! Father! I'm unable to see what has happened, but as soon as the light disappears, I see what horror has happened before me. I scream when I spot the large gash in my father's chest. Blood pours from the wound, from a blade of light. I catch my father in my arms as he stumbles back. Waltz quickly comes to stand beside me to help us support him. Father! Now this kingdom is mine once again! The voice is familiar but distantly so. It is a voice from my memories. Whoa, alright. I would have thought she'd be older than this, but I guess she was trapped in... I guess she is a witch, so maybe they're like immortal? I look up suddenly and there she is. My mother stands before me, beautiful and regal. Her eyes are cold, lacking any kind of love as she looks over at me. Lucette. Welcome back, my queen. Mithros, who has somehow managed to escape from Parfait, is now down on one knee before Mother. Hilder. Hello, Diophae. It's been a while. Parfait puts a hand to her chest as she begins to cough. She collapses to her knees. You have grown weaker since we've last fought. Lady Parfait. Mother's eyes snap to Waltz and narrow. I see that the traitor is here too. I also see you've managed to reunite with my daughter. Mother flicks her wrist as she casts her spell. You will pay for what you did to me. Step back! Parfait quickly steps in front of us and an invisible barrier appears just as Mother conjures a series of sharp ice projectiles. They bounce harmlessly off the shield, but I can feel the rumble in the ground as they tumble down to the floor. Ugh. Parfait! Parfait! Parfait is still kneeling on the ground. I can see blood on her lips. Lucette. I look down at Father. His shirt is soaked with blood, but his eyes are still barely open. Father! I feel tears brimming in my eyes. The room fills with light, this time emanating from the floor. So slowly our surroundings begin to blur. Go then, run away, Parfait. That's all you have ever done. Parfait's voice is pressed and pained as she speaks. We will stop you, Hilder. The last thing I see is Mother's wicked smile, then the light swallows us all. Well, this is the worst case scenario. When the light fades, we are back in the Martian. Parfait is still on the ground, though now she looks like she might sink into it. Lady Parfait! I'll be fine. Just call Rumpel. Quickly. Waltz darts from the room immediately. Father, please hold on. My father's clothes are now dyed in the thick crimson that stains my hand and dress. Moments later, Waltz returns with Rumpel. She rushes over to the king the moment he sees him. Rumpel tears my father's shirt open, revealing a deep wound on his chest. He quickly looks over his body, then attempts to apply pressure to the wound, but the bleeding does not stop. He's lost too much blood! Can't you do something? I will do my best, but there's only so much that I can do, princess. I cannot perform miracles. There is a faraway look in his eyes as he says this, an almost pained expression on his face. His helpless expression makes the panic surge in me again. You call yourself a doctor? Lucette, calm down. I cannot lose him, Waltz. I don't have much time left, Lucette. I turn to look down at my father, my eyes filling with tears. No, no, no! Don't say that, Father! I wanted you to become king. I wanted to see you become queen. But it seems that this is the end for me. I collapse beside Father and he reaches up a shaking hand to touch my wet cheek. Protect our kingdom. I can only nod at him. I will always be with you. I love you, Lucette, and I am proud that you are my daughter. Father smiles at me. It is so genuine and warm that it brings fresh tears to my eyes. His eyes slowly close, but the smile never leaves his lips. Father? I shake him, but he does not react. No! No! I lean over my father, willing him to come back, to open his eyes, but he is no longer breathing. For the first time in my life, I cry for my father.